Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jennifer. I would like to have you in this family by clicking that red subscribe button on the bottom. And also, if you like the video, please don't forget to smash that like button because it does help for YouTube to push my videos for more people to see. On today's video, we're going to be looking at my second account that I've created with Franc. I'm just gonna go straight to the point. Yes, I've created a second account with Franc and it was easy, seamless and enjoyable. And I'm gonna take you through, guys, what is that account, why I created it, and how I actually went about creating it, because I feel that it is a very useful account. And so what is that account? Before we get into the details of this video, I just want to say firstly, thank you to Franc Group for actually partnering with me on this video. Yes, I said it, my first ever brand partnership. But more than anything, this is a company that I've wanted to work with. I really actually enjoy using the platform. I really like what the company stand for and how easy they make it for us to invest and save. And so let us get into the video. What is the second account that I created on Franc? Now the account is actually for my daughter. Now if you don't know, if you are new here, I have a 5-year-old daughter who's currently in kindergarten. Now soon she's going to be starting school officially next year. And now I knew for a fact that I wanted to invest for her future education, and this is something that I knew before I had a child, that I want to invest for my child. Now as a person that benefited from government funding me in my varsity years, I knew that for my child it's not going to be possible because of my income and also her father's income. And so I didn't want to leave my child in the mercy of financial institutions in order for them to help me with money so that I can fund her fees. And so I wanted to take steps now that she's still young, so that by the time that comes, there is a fund waiting for her. That is what I wanted to create for her. I actually did create a policy for her, and mainly because originally, I think for each and every one of us, when we are thinking of investing for things such as education, most of us, we quickly rush towards education policies which are offered by insurance companies. So that is including Sanlam, Old Mutual, and all these other insurance companies. Mine was at Momentum, and her dad was investing under Sanlam, and I also recently told him to cancel that. Now the reason why I shifted from actually entrusting these insurance companies for such things for my child's education, I was okay with it initially because I didn't know much and I didn't think about it. I took time this year, beginning of the year, to actually evaluate the investment that I created for Nxumalo 2 years ago with Momentum. As I said, I had the investment with her under Momentum, and that's where I had the policy. Now this was an endowment. Now because it's a policy, even though it's a policy, it is structured towards investing in the GSE market. However, because it is managed under insurance companies, an endowment, it comes with heavy fees. So it came with heavy fees such that the money that I was putting in monthly, a portion of that, let's say for instance 50 rands of the 500 rands that I was investing when I started went towards fees. Every month there's a certain portion that was going towards paying the fees. Now this is money that I'm never gonna get back. This is money that it's gone. It's for their own maintenance. It's for them to pay whatever that they have to pay and maintain their financial institution. However, and it takes from my principal amount that I've put in. Now, this is different from putting in your money into shares and then it goes up and down. It goes up and down. Maybe let's say you put in 500 and then all of a sudden it's 450, and then you're just like, why am I losing money? You're technically not losing money. It's just that the market is adjusting to the market trends in that moment. And so it comes across as if you are losing money. But when the market picks up, automatically your account, your money is also going to go up based on how the market is looking at that time. So it's not money that is lost like fees. So that is one thing that was frustrating me, that there were so many fees that were attached to this that were eating away from the principal, such that the growth was not something that made me happy. Actually, it made me very annoyed, and I felt like I'm wasting time here, because when I looked at 3 years ago when I created the account for Nxumalo, that money should have been something more than what it was beginning of the year, considering the amount of time and also considering that this money was going up annually. And when I was looking at how much I had, and also by the time she goes to varsity, I really saw that by the time she goes to varsity, this is going to be peanuts, and I'm not going to see the true value of the money that I've been putting in. And so that's when I started looking into other different avenues where I can do it myself. I watched this one video on YouTube by this one influencer, and she was talking about this new feature that Franc has just rolled out, which is a dependence account. And immediately it clicked for me. I actually went on my app and actually created the account for Nxumalo. Within an hour, I was done. So that is the story behind the second account. It is not for me, it's for my daughter. So what am I talking about? What Franc has done is they've rolled out something new on their platform, which is now, as a parent, you can go and create an account for your dependent, invest towards your child's future, or even anything that you want to invest in for your child. So from my account, so what you have to do in order to create a dependent account, you do have to have your main account. So if you don't have an account yet, you kind of see what I'm talking about. Then when you do eventually have a Franc account, you will know. By the way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link in the description. I'm going to have the Franc link. You can click that link and actually go download the app for yourself and actually learn more about it. When you go into your account, you go to your profile. So in your profile, you just scroll down from, I have my phone, by the way, and I'm looking at the, I'm gonna screenshot this and put it here. So you go into your profile. When you go down there, it says dependence account. Now, as you can see down there, you can see Nomcebo Khadebe, that's my daughter, and it shows here how much balance I have already. Now, I've been investing for 2 months. I started 2 months ago. So I started in June, and then July was my second month, and I'm gonna continue until, you know, it's that time for her to go to varsity. Lord, keep me in this earth. So I have her account here. It's already created. So if you want to create an account for a child, you say add child's account, then you put in all the personal information that they require from you. Then from there, once you've put in your first name, second name of the child, by the way, email address, preferably an email that you are not using on your other account. You can use another email, and then you put in the password. And then once you've done that, so there are 4 steps that you have to go through when you're creating this. Now, remember, you are doing this from your profile. I think the other steps that you have to do is where now you put in the other information, where you put in the ID number and all the stuff. Then they'll ask you to take a picture or attach your child's birth certificate. So by the time you are done on the 4 steps, you would have created the account. Then what you do, once you have done that, you then have to log out and log in. Remember, you used an email and password. Now you have to go and log in there in order for you to start creating a profile for the investment, because you still have to do all that part. You can't do it from yours, but from your account, you can create the account. Then you need to log out, log in into your child's account. Now create a profile in terms of how you want to start investing for your child. Okay. So that's what I'm going to take you guys through now very quickly. What you need to do when you get here is it will ask you how you want to invest. So remember, with Franc, you have cash fund and you have the equity fund. Cash fund is the money market. It's the safest way that you can save money, but then you are getting an interest from those savings. Now, what I love about this, on the money market, the value of the money market and investing there, you really see it when you're investing for long term, so 5 years and above, because you start to see the value of compound interest. And then equity fund is basically investing in the JSE market. Now, what they invest in here, they invest on the Satrix Top 40. Now, Satrix Top 40 is still also the safe way of investing, because it's a cluster, it's a bundle of assets instead of an individual share. And because it's like that, it is managed by Satrix. Now, what they do is they are the one that monitor the market, that monitor that fund, and make sure that it performs well. Now, you don't have to concern yourself about those things, because, as I said, with Franc, you don't have to think about where you invest your money, but you can actually tell them that this is what I prefer. So this is what you're going to be doing right here. So what you're going to do is going to tell you now to set up your goal. Now, when you're setting up your goal, basically, first thing that you have to do is you need to select what are you investing towards. So it's very important that you do this. This is one thing that I love about Franc, is that it asks you about your goal, it asks you about your intentions early on. That way you are clear when you are starting that, okay, this is what I want to work towards. And it kind of keeps you motivated because you know, you see yourself as you're getting closer to that goal. Like when I'm looking at my emergency fund, we are approaching 10,000, the first 10,000 of the 30,000, which is the main goal. And so it motivates me to keep going. And so here you need to choose for your child, what do you want to invest in? For my child investment, I'm choosing education. So you can choose, maybe you want to invest towards property. You can say you want to invest towards their vehicle. So let's say on the first vehicle, maybe you want to help them with the deposits. You can also invest towards holidays. Anything really, anything goes here. So there are options, so you can choose. So once you have chosen what is your goal, that now you need to actually be clear about how you want to do this. So there are two options that they give you. There is invest towards a target, and then there is invest regularly. Now for me, for my emergency fund, my main account, I invested towards a target, which is I put there as 30,000, and then they break it down to you that, okay, if you want this 30,000 in the next 3 years on this specific date, that means that every month you have to pay this much. That's how it came down to me having to pay 1,210 every month, because it calculated for me that by that time when I want that money, I will have to invest this much money every month. So that is investing towards a target. There's also invest regular. So if you're investing regular, so basically what you are doing here, you are saying I want to invest per month. I really don't really have an amount in mind. However, I have a budget per month. I know that in a month maybe I can afford 500 rands. In a month I can afford 1,000, 2,000, however amount it is that you can afford. That is where it comes in when it comes to investing regular, where you know that per month this is how much I can afford, and then we can see how much it can get me in the next 5-10 years, you know. Now it came to a part whereby they asked me how much do I want to invest. So I put in there 1,000 grand per month, and then it showed there that, okay, if I'm investing 1,000 per month, in the next 10 years it's going to be over 140,000. And then also consider this. Now we are also considering the compound interest. We're also considering the value of my equity. So there, by that time, I know it would have multiplied substantially, because we're talking about 10 years here. We're not talking about 2 years and 3 years. 10 years is a good time for an investment to mature and do, you know, when you get it with so much more interest, because it has been accumulating that interest, and the interest also has been accumulating more interest. That's where the compound interest part comes in. And then the next step that it asks you now is, okay, select your strategy. Now you have to choose which one are you more comfortable with when it comes to your risk appetite. The first option is very safe. This is more so all cash. Money market, as I said, you are investing in money market, and here, as I said, this is where you see the value of compound interest. So, and then there is safe, which is mostly cash, and also here you are investing, the risk is low, but you're investing for long term. And then there is, after safe, there's balanced. Balance is basically 50-50 between cash and equity. So this is 5 to 10 years. The risk is medium. Remember now, because it's 50-50, the risk comes in on the equity part, not on the money market part. And then there is bold. Bold is more so someone who's like, you know what, I don't really have time for money market. I want to go into equities more. So most of the money is going to go towards equities. And then the last one is custom, which is my favorite, which is here you can actually decide based on the scale that they give you down here, which is this one. You see where when you move it, it actually moves around. So you can decide here whether you want more on cash fund or less on equities, or more on equities and less on cash fund. I like this because it gives me freedom to choose how I want to structure my investment. And so for Unomcebo, the final thing is that I think I chose around 65-35, around there. Then once you've logged on your goal, you need to actually put how are you going to be investing towards this. So for me, because it's a salary, I'm going to be investing monthly. If you have a lump sum, you can actually do that as well. And then it breaks it down to you, and then you have to accept. Once you've accepted, they tell you that it's successful. Now that means that you can actually go into the profile and look into it and actually kind of get an idea of how everything has been broken down for you. What I love is from my main app, I can see how much I have, and that for me is really nice. They did a good job when it comes to that part, because sometimes you don't want to log into, remembering different password is just not nice. So you don't want to log off here, log on here. But the nice thing is that I can log on onto mine and see how much we have in there. Yes, I won't see how the investment is performing, but I will see how much I have in there. Okay. And then now another thing that I also wanted to talk to you guys about is actually the deposit part. On my main account, I actually have a debit order with my bank, where I went to my bank, I took the account for the Franc Group, and actually I went on the app and created the debit order. So every month it goes out. What they have now is you can, on your profile as well, you can actually set up a recurring payment. So I'm going to click on it so that I can just show you quickly what are the processes that you have to follow there. And I find that it's more, it has less charges. I think they charge me around R1 on my bank. And then also it reflects immediately, unlike a debit order. Even if I can do it today, it won't reflect today. It will reflect in the next day or the next 2 days. And so I like that this one reflects immediately, because it is like buying online. Then what you do here, you say deposit amount. So let's say, for instance, 1,000. And then we say frequency, we want it to be monthly or weekly, depending on when you get paid. Deposit day, I get paid on the 15th, and so I'm going to put in the 15th. And then what you do is you go to next, and then you have to choose your bank that you actually want to do it with. And so let's go. You actually accept these terms and basically read through this. Collection will take place on the 15th of each month unless cancelled 48 hours or more before the start of the day. So let's say, for instance, you are changing your payment. You are no longer getting paid on the 15th. You're getting paid on the 25th. You have time to actually change that 48 hours before the kick in of that debit order. So read through that. You accept. We go to next. Once we are on next, now you need to then go and select your bank again. So if you are banking with Absa, you're banking with Capitec, FNB, you select the bank. So once you've put in the banking details, it will link into your banking app. And then if you have multiple bank accounts there, it will show you those ones. And then you have to pick one. Like, I'm saying this because for me, I know on all my bank accounts, I have multiple accounts. Then you choose the one that you wanted to deduct every month, and then it will process, and then it will also ask you to go to your bank in order for you to approve this. So you need to put in your PIN, your password, in order for you to approve this and say, this is me. Same thing that will happen with other banks. On the day that you've said that you want the money to be actually deducted, so for me it's the 15th. So what happens is I get a notification from Frank saying I need to go and approve the payment. So you log into your account and then you approve the payment. Now what it will do is it will take you to your bank account, and then you have to say, I approve this. I like this because it's still making sure that the payment is secure, that it's really you making this payment. And more than anything, you don't really have to think about it much. It's just a matter of saying, I'm still okay with this decision that I made a while ago, that I want this much money to be taken from my account into this. I'm still okay with this, and I'm approving this payment. Unlike a debit order, because once you set up a debit order, no matter how you feel about it, you are obliged to do it unless you go and cancel it with your bank. But here, every month, it's like a reminder that, okay, I'm still okay with it. So you can go ahead and take the money. So that is what I love about this. As I said, also what I love about it is that it's immediate. Within a day, it actually shows up. And also another thing that I love is that the charges are not as much. I think they charge me around R1 because Capitec charges for everything. So that is what I wanted to take you guys through. That's how I created the account. What is the purpose of the account, how you can create the account from your main account, and more than anything, how you can make the payments. I really wanted to share this video with you guys the moment I heard about this 2 months ago, because I found it to be very valuable, and I found it to be useful for me as a parent, someone who wanted to be hands-on when it comes to investing for my child and making sure that I'm clear about where my money is invested and is going, you know. So with that being said, I'll see you guys on the next video. Please take care and stay safe. Bye.